What's up, Internet? Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Fiction Forge, the show where it's our mission to fan the flames of creativity across the internet and through the hearts and minds of all you amazing, awesome people out there.
This episode is for all those plant lovers, landscapers, and garden aficionados out there, but also for people with a bit of a green thumb looking for ideas.
We'll be taking a bit of dead tree trunk I found in my driveway and turning it into our very own improvised super tree, just like the ones found in Singapore at the Gardens by the Bay.
Then we'll be populating it with a variety of air plants and vines that will both bear fruit and look stunning in the process.
Then as a final touch, we'll be adding a set of strategically placed solar-powered LEDs and a wire mantis topiary companion.
Okay, so let's go make some living art out of bits and pieces of the backyard.
When we talk about Supertrees, we don't mean some kind of genetically altered mutant tree or a superhero like Groot.
Instead, we're talking about the Supertrees at the Garden by the Bay in Singapore. They're tree-like vertical gardens that range from 25 to 50 meters tall and would look right at home in a sci-fi movie.
They're not just spectacular to look at either. They also gather solar energy for lighting and rain for their own irrigation.
200 species of exotic plants make their home here, including ferns, orchids, and vines. They're chosen based on their suitability for vertical planting, ease of maintenance, and visual interest.
Plants such as bromelias, or air plants, were also chosen because they don't require soil to grow. With a little help from the irrigation system, the plants can absorb all the water and nutrients they need straight from the air.
These super trees aren't the only vertical gardens around. A quick Google image search easily demonstrates the versatility and beauty of this method of planting.
One of the best things about vertical gardening is that it makes use of space that would otherwise be left bare or unutilized. They can either have a natural look or be meticulously sculpted to provide truly breathtaking results. We have broken our Supertrees construction down into 4 phases.
First, we create a tree-like structure with a canopy fabricated from dead branches.
Then we form a trellis fashioned from dead vines for living plants to grow up.
And then we populate it with a variety of different plants.
Finally, we add some solar-powered LEDs and a wire mantis topiary to sit on top. Okay, so first things first. If you want to put something in the ground, a hole generally helps. So time for a little digging, I think.
Let's use this bucket to prevent the walls from caving in and compact the dirt tightly in a circular shape.
A firm tug will release the bucket from the ground. This branch in the middle of the trunk will have to go.
Think you're done, tree? Back in the ground. Packing some rocks around the base of the trunk. And then compacting soil on top should be enough to keep the log upright, provided the hole is deep enough to begin with.
Okay, so now we have our tree base to build on. So let's begin by constructing the canopy out of dead branches. But first let's wrap some dead Zambezi creeper around the top to make it easier to position the branches securely.
With our branches in place, let's move on to building the trellis for the plants to grow up.
We begin this by collecting enough vines to wrap around the entire surface of the tree. For us, this is also Zambezi creeper.
Once we've collected enough vines, we prepare them by stripping off any unwanted leaves or shoots.
Then we are ready to get busy weaving them around the tree to form our nature-inspired trellis.
give some of the plants a foothold higher up in the tree, we made these fake bird nest planters to be positioned around the top.
To make one of these, just stretch some chicken wire around a container. In our case, it was a small metal bucket.
Then, once the chicken wire has been stretched into shape, cover it with the coconut husk and then secure it into place by wrapping the edges of the wire inward over it.
So now we attach them to the tree. A cup hook is perfect for the ones on the side, and a strand of wire easily fastens the chicken wire to the branches.
Great, so now we have our planters. A bit of water absorbent material at the bottom of each planter will ensure the soil doesn't dry out too fast.
Our plant habitat is now prepared, so let's go find some lucky occupants for it.
Morning glory is often considered a weed, and our neck of the woods is currently lousy with it, so I'm pretty sure nobody is going to miss it if we take some.
Good thing, because we're taking a pile of the stuff, and in several different colors to boot.
These black-eyed Susans and this other species we found but can't identify also look pretty awesome and spread like wildfire, so I'm pretty sure we can also gather some for free.
Luckily, I have a bunch of bromeliads or air plants around my yard that we can harvest for free. This stuff is insanely expensive in the nurseries here.
Finally, we wanted to introduce a couple fruit-bearing plants, so we bought this grenadilla vine, which also makes surprisingly awesome flowers, and then we replanted a couple Cape gooseberry plants.
Okay, so now that we have our plants, let's start positioning them on the trellis and finding secure places for the roots to sit. Let's begin with the morning glory we collected first.
Positioning some morning glory in our first planter will allow it to start filling out the canopy. Then we take the air plants we gathered earlier and start filling in the gaps left by the vines along the trunk.
Let's also cover up the bald spot on top with another clump of air plant. While we're up here in the canopy, let's plant the black-eyed Susans in the second planter and our mystery vine in the third. Let's use our remaining coconut husks to cover the top of the planters. This will prevent the soil from drying out too fast.
And finally, once again, we take our fruit vines and find them a spot at the base where they'll be happy and can climb easily.
We gave these solar-powered LEDs a shot, but they were pretty underwhelming, so we swapped them out for some battery-powered ones.
We won't be putting on any light shows, but it should be pretty whimsical.
As a final touch and a test of how well this works, I made a wire-praying mantis skeleton to be placed on top, and hopefully in time it'll become the base for a sculpted topiary made from the various vines we added as they gradually ascend over time.
This technique of sculpting plants achieves the most insane, face-melting results you've ever seen. The scope of some of these things is utterly mind-boggling, and they are nothing short of artistic masterpieces.
If we manage to get something mildly similar to any of these, I'll be very happy. I think we'll definitely have to make a follow-up video and take credit for nature's efforts.
Well, that's what humans are best at, so we're right in our wheelhouse. Anyway, till it fills out, let's go check out what we've got in the meantime.
Totally chuffed with this result.
It's not 50 meters tall and made of concrete, but I think as a backyard version, it achieves the desired effect.
Yeah, and this one's made from stuff that people would otherwise burn or throw away. So yeah, pretty frugal construction wise.
In the future, when prime bits of backyard debris show up, we'll know just what to do with it.
Hell, next time let's go giant sculpted topiary from a game or series and forget the tree.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a plan. We can go all Edward Scissorhands on a bush.
Maybe we should turn a bush into Edward Scissorhands.
Mind blown. If you're tired of your favorite creators' content being stifled by the need for advertisers, then head over to Patreon and give people who are passionate about their weirdness a much needed helping hand.
If you enjoy our content, you feel you get value from it, and you want to get involved with building the community from the ground up, then join us and have your say in what we make and where the channel goes in the future by clicking over to our Patreon page now.
Contribute whatever you can per video and you'll be helping to build a world where creatives need not be caged in cubicles or tethered to view counts.
Either way, you are always welcome here. You reckon those vines will ever fill out that mantis?
It's only a matter of time, I figure, as long as it's kept watered.
Oh well, if it works and looks awesome, that's great. If it doesn't, we don't have to make a follow-up video, so win-win I guess.
True, but I have a feeling we'll be making that video one way or the other. That morning glory won't sit there waiting for your permission to grow.
I'm sure it won't be long before it's putting out tasty treats and trying to make a break for it to the nearby plants.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Either way, we should keep an eye on it and make sure it's happy.
Word.
Wizards only, fools. Keep it tight.